Hi guys, welcome to Ask Me Definition. Today we are going to discuss class 9 standard matter in our surrounding part 3, which is taken from NCERT Science. And you are listening to Mr. Amaresh, PGT Chemistry. And objectives of the class for the day are to distinguish the three states of physical matter, and second one, to define the terms involved in interconversion of physical states. Based on the arrangement of particles in the matter and the variation in their characteristic property, we see that matter can be divided into three major categories. They are solid, liquid and gas. And to understand individual of them, we need to learn their properties. Let us first take properties of solid. In the solid, the particles are closely packed and they have fixed shape and volume and high density, and intermolecular force of attraction is very high, and their diffusion is too low, and they are rigid by nature, non-compressible and least kinetic energy. In the second case, the properties of gases, the particles are having sufficient distance between each other, they do not have fixed shape and volume, and their density is too less, intermolecular force of attraction is low, diffusion is high, and they are fluid by nature, compressible and high kinetic energy. In the third, we have liquid state, in which we see that these particles are in between the solid and gaseous state, and they have fixed volume but not shape, and other properties goes as it is. There are other two physical states which are very well known. They are plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate, which is also generally called as BEC. What is plasma? Plasma, a mixture of free electron and ions of different gases when heated into very high temperature. Example, fluorescent tube or neon bulb or neon sign. And the fifth state of matter, Bose-Einstein condensate, it is observed when the gases are cooled extremely to the low density and super low temperature. Once we know the five states of physical states, now we are ready to understand interconversion of states of matter. Let us learn how the solid changes to liquid, which is famously known as fusion or melting. Liquid can also be converted into solid, well known as solidification. The understanding of fusion comes from knowing what latent heat of fusion means. The amount of heat energy that is required to change 1 kg of solid into liquid at atmospheric pressure is called at its melting point. Freezing is actually a reverse of melting. Freezing point of liquid is the same as the melting point of its solid form. You can take example of water, where 100 degrees Celsius is boiling point and 0 degrees Celsius as its freezing point. Change of state from liquid to gases is well known as vaporization. We also call it as boiling point. And the boiling point is the temperature at which vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equals to atmospheric pressure of the liquid. You can see when we take a beaker full of water, when we start heating, after reaching the latent heat of vaporization, liquid starts boiling up. Then what is latent heat of vaporization? The amount of heat energy required to change 1 kg of liquid into gas at atmospheric pressure is called latent heat of vaporization. And the reverse of gases converting back into liquid is known as condensation. Now lastly, we can also convert solids directly into gases without changing to liquid state, which is famously known as sublimation. Naphthalene, ammonium chloride, anthracene, camphor, these are the examples which undergo sublimation. And the reverse can be also known as deposition. Effect of pressure, we see that gases can be liquefied by just applying pressure and lowering temperature. Carbon dioxide can be cooled to liquid and further cooled at high pressure to convert into dry ice. At this particular point, we observe the critical temperature. For every gases, we see a minimum temperature above which gas cannot be liquefied by applying high pressure even. And at the same point, we see critical pressure also, which is the minimum pressure which is required to liquefy a gas at critical temperature. If these two are attained, we can convert the gases into solids directly. For example, carbon dioxide can be converted into solid carbon dioxide, which is well known as dry ice, because it does not wet the surface unlike ordinary ice when it get melting. Because of it, we use dry ice in refrigerant. Let us recall what we learnt. The terms introduced: the fusion, vaporization, sublimation, critical temperature, pressure, latent heat of fusion and vaporization. Also we learnt condensation and deposition. The difference between three states of matter are very important. Learn it thoroughly. By this, we are closing the session for today. Thank you. Our work, stay connected to Ask Me a Definition and subscribe to our channel. Put the bell icon. Thank you.